Welcome back to the Hateful Geeks. There's me, your absentee host, Phil. I want to apologize for missing our Deadpool episode. These three chuckleheads knocked it out of the park.
We did what we could.
We pretty much agreed on everything, so it would be redundant at this point. But I had a death in the family, so I apologize for my absence, but I'm back. And this week, the long-awaited Solo. I'm pretty sure we've done 2 episodes where we've talked about this movie coming out, gentlemen. Is that correct?
I think so. We talked about about the trailer.
We talked about the trailer and then the
when it was
little
announced
clusterfuck that happened.
Oh, the hiccup.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I noticed at the end of the movie they still got executive producer credits.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to see what came out of the oven. So, welcome back to the Hateful Geeks. I'm one of your many hosts, Phil.
This is Sweeney.
I'm Andy.
And this is Tim.
And we're going back to a galaxy far, far away.
A long, long time ago.
Ron Howard took the reins of this flaming truck going off a cliff.
Like he tried riding the ship as much as he could.
Right, like
bravo.
It's sort of like he kind of got the Titanic a little closer to land.
Right.
Yeah.
But you still fucking... All right.
Yeah.
I mean, this film, we all called it. I think if you listen to our previous episodes trying to talk about what this was going to be, we literally said, this is what they're going to do this. They're going to show this. They're going to show the Kessel Run. It's going
to be a glorified heist movie.
Right. And we nailed it.
Everything.
Word verbatim. Every man in this room, both of these rooms, every one of these gentlemen's was right about at least one aspect of this film.
Yeah.
And how does that kind of make you feel as a fan?
It was very paint by numbers from what we saw,
right?
From what we said.
That's what I said. It was a Star Wars paint by numbers. It was hey, do you remember every single thing that was said about Han Solo's past in the original trilogy? Here it is.
And I will say this. Like, so for me, I mean, we all didn't thoroughly enjoy the movie. We'll just put that out there right now. Some less than others. For me, it was nice to see some of the stuff we got talked about, like the action scenes. Like a lot of that, the action was fun. Woody Harrelson's character was enjoyable. The action was good. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But like everything in between, I literally was sitting in my chair like, fuck, is this over? Like, I'm bored. Like, right. I don't care anymore.
Like, I looked at my phone to check the time.
Right, exactly.
I thought that the I guess you can call it a train.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was very well done.
Right.
Where how it twists on its side around the mountains and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting. And then when they're actually on Kessel and the rebellion starts and all that.
That was funny.
I thought that was fun.
That was
too.
Hysterical. So you had the robot rebellion, which I thought was hysterical.
So for argument's sake, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, is there an argument to be made here that Star Wars fans either kind of fall into one or two groups? There's like you didn't give me enough Star Wars in my Star Wars movie, and you weren't original enough in your Star Wars movie.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't really think that until Force Awakens came out.
Movie.
Yeah.
I think until Force Awakens.
And I think you're right, Phil. I think that applies to the big like Star Wars movies, like the actual like trilogies like that you go through,
like the main episodes.
And I think we got that a lot with like the Force Awakens and Last Jedi. Was like you had those two sides of the fence. It was like, oh, it's not true to the Star Wars, and people are like, no, it's not. So I think you do have that. I think with these like side stories, I think it's like we knew this story.
Let me put this in perspective. I did like The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because it was different and it changed the game.
Absolutely.
Because it tried to adapt and evolve.
So here I am with Solo, and it's like you're spoon feeding me like more of the same. Like it's literally like a nostalgia run for like OT.
Yeah.
But are you like, where's the fucking gumption? Like, what's the point? Like, what are you trying to do here?
And that was my fear. Like we said going in, there was never one moment of any tension or like dread for Han, for Lando, for Chewie, for the Falcon. Like there was At no point in time did I have that. Oh, they're in some shit.
Well, they fucked up the Falcon,
Right.
And it still yet flew right away.
right?
Like,
Right. No,
I
and
landed
you're right.
on the beach, and
And-
he's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out."
And you're right. We didn't have that, but I will say, Childish Gambino was a great Lando.
He was.
There
There are pros. Why don't we go over our pros?
he was the biggest one.
Yeah, he was
His voice
Donald
was-
Glover stole the movie.
So you guys
His
like gave
voice-
me a bunch of shit because I said that Alden, whatever his
don't
name
even
is.
try to
Alden
say his last name.
Ehrenreich.
Just
Yeah.
call them all.
Like I was like, he doesn't sound like he didn't like enunciate or even kind of
No.
sound like Harrison Ford. Where Donald Glover was the exact opposite.
He was-
You are introduced to him
By
audibly
voice. Yeah.
before you see
Yeah.
him, and I was like, holy shit, he sounds like Billy D.
He's
Williams.
channeling Billy D. Williams.
Like
was
he
perfect.
sounded like it. He acted like it. He had the same mannerisms. Like
It reminded me a bit of like how Brandon Routh sounded like
Clark Kent.
Christopher Reeve
Yeah.
in Superman Returns. That's the only good thing I will ever say about Superman Returns.
But yeah, no.
So
he was
Lando.
perfect.
You got young Lando. You got the introduction of Lando,
Mm-hmm.
and Donald Glover was a better Lando.
He was really good, and I loved right away. He was like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Han Solo," and he was like, "Han." He's like,
Yeah.
Han.
Yeah.
Han.
Han.
Because there's an Empire Strikes Back. He calls him Han.
Yeah, they
Yep.
like
And
settled
and
that
nobody
argument.
corrects
Like,
how he. Nobody corrects the Billy D. Williams.
pronunciation.
So
Yeah.
and so you're like, he did that shit on purpose because it gets under his skin. It's
skin.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
so I will say this about the actor's name that played Han Solo.
Donald.
Alden Ehrenreich.
I will say this about him. All right,
Not even gonna try it.
I'll say this about him. I was expecting much worse, and I was pleasantly surprised about some of the mannerisms, some of the way he acted. The voice, no. The voice, no.
The voice, no. I think he had 2 Harrison Ford isms down. He had the pose when he had the when he would fire the blaster.
Yeah.
He had Harrison Ford's pose.
Yep.
He also got Harrison Ford's finger point down.
Yeah, that and like he had like the smirkiness about him that you liked about Harrison Ford's Han.
A little, cockiness.
Yeah, and you had that, but you're right. The voice, I couldn't get past that. Now that's I can't hold that against him because he can't be Harrison Ford. Like it's impossible.
Yo, I don't give a fuck. He had the 70s haircut, so I mean everything else I just stopped caring about. It just wasn't worth. Not. I mean, I can't. I'm not. It doesn't even factor into my enjoyment of the film that this kid is not like a perfect facsimile of Harrison
No,
Ford. I don't
no,
care.
no.
It's not happening. Once you like fly fictional character, you can go your own way.
Right.
The rest of the movie is actually fairly enjoyable as a heist film.
Right. And-
What ticked me off
That's
after
it.
the fact is that I found out that the same actor that played in Baby Driver was up for the role. He fucking looked like Han Solo in Baby Driver.
I didn't know
How
that.
did you fucking not cast him? He
I didn't
same
know that.
height, same look, like
you measured him,
he is.
Wait, you
there's
actually
this
think the
wonderful
kid-
thing called IMDb.
but you seriously looked that up just to see you're the same height.
Yeah, because
Wait, dude. Wait.
They have height and weight on IMDb.
Alden is 5'9".
What kind
Harrison
of
Ford is
lives do the people at IMDb?
6'1".
But the fact that he looked it up.
He's 3 inches
The reason
shorter
I
than
looked
Harrison
it up because
Ford.
I was reading on a message board and somebody said that, and I was like, "Are you sure? Are you just pulling these numbers out of your ass?" So I went to IMDb,
Oh,
went
if
to
they-
the actors, and was like, "They are
If they
legit."
posted it, they looked it up.
Yeah.
Like, it's 3 inches.
Right.
Who the fuck cares?
Well, somebody cared about 3 inches.
Giggity. I didn't have any
okay,
comeback
so
to that. Other
You're
than
like,
giggity.
giggity.
The dick joke.
But okay, so besides him, whatever. I don't care. Your voice isn't exactly like Harrison Ford. Who cares? Like whatever. But we did get a good heist film. I thought Emilia Clarke.
Amelia Clarke.
Clarke. Sorry.
Fucking Khaleesi, you get it right.
I thought. I mean, well, anything she does, I'm just gonna stare at because, well, she's
Okay.
in a movie.
So,
But-
somebody muzzle that guy. Holy shit.
No, I'm not saying her role was good. I'm saying I'm just gonna look at her because she's an attractive woman.
No, she's not.
Sexism.
She's not an attractive woman.
She stood out to me in this film,
Sexism.
and this is not her fault. It is the costume / prop design. she looked absolutely nothing like a Star Wars.
Well,
Like her
it was
costumes never looked Star Wars universe. Like she just stood out. She was too clean
No,
and
I
almost
mean,
like it looked like she was wearing like, oh, that's a dress I could walk into Lazarus and see hanging on a rack.
I guess I'll give you the scene in like the whatever Dryden Voss's like club living
It was
room,
his yacht.
whatever. But like when she was coming off the ship on Kessel, like
Yeah.
that's a Star Wars
Yeah.
outfit.
I don't agree with that statement at all. Maybe that one dress.
Stood out to me. It's what I remember. I'm just telling you what I remember.
I mean, I feel like her clothing was a little bit more pristine than everything she was around. But I think that was because she was part of Crimson Dawn.
Right, exactly.
Right.
She
I
had
looked
money.
like somebody that should have
she's-
walked off Coruscant, and I had the same issues with the prequels.
But she's
I
not
was
going
like,
to come out the
too
fucking door wearing
clean,
like
too
camo and
modern
like dirty
looking.
ass.
But she wasn't dirty anymore. She was paid for.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's, of course, she's supposed to be
Right.
like
it just
fish out of
stood out.
water, like the nail that's sticking out.
I mean,
like she's
she's a lieutenant. I imagine she's some sort of assassin, and therefore she's not supposed to stand out.
Where
she
everyone
probably is
had,
given
like,
a pretty kick-ass wardrobe by
Right.
like party standards.
And like you guys were saying, he had the 70s haircut. They all fit into that like 70. Nothing about her looked 70s ever.
Yeah, but not everybody in Star Wars was just the 70s.
It was
Andy. I'm
Han
just saying
Solo.
that I'm just saying he had Harrison Ford's haircut from the 70s.
Right.
No, but Lando
Like, here's
looked like
a-
he would fit into that same time period.
Lando
with
had his own badass
Lando
outfit.
literally was the only guy who wore capes apparently in the entire fucking universe. Because when they go into his goddamn closet, they're like, this dude has a lot of capes.
I just wanna
So you using Lando as like a measuring stick for the fashion of a galaxy far, far away is bullshit.
There was
sir.
also the one where she's trying to light like douse a fire.
Oh, he's
with
like,
it,
that's a custom
it's
piece.
a custom piece.
I want to see the movie through your eyes, Andy, because the things that you notice, like I don't notice, like outfits.
Well, the thing is like I understand what he's saying. Is like it draws your eye. It's sort of like, hey,
It
look
did.
at me. It's Amelia Clark. Hey, did I mention it's Amelia Clark?
Right.
And
But-
you kind of want it to flow a little
But
bit
in
better.
the beginning,
but
she wasn't standout-ish.
purposeful.
No, she looked okay on Corellia.
Yeah, but then she like
After that, she stood out
Because
like a sore
she
thumb.
had
looked
money.
nothing like she fit. Everyone else that was on there looked like a Star Wars character. Even fucking Vision looked like he fucking
Isn't her
fit.
character sort of
Goddamn
it's done
prune-faced
intentionally?
Vision.
I think it's intentional. It's because it's constantly reminding you that like she's not the same person that she was back on Corellia.
right.
Like so much so that like you can't
And
even
maybe
like just
she's
the way she dresses. You're like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Maybe she's overcompensating because she came from trash.
Yeah, man. Like I think that I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's actually a bad
was the
thing.
same
I think
as
it
in
actually is part of
The
her
Last
story.
Jedi, when they went to the casino,
Mm-hmm.
it did not say this is a Star Wars film. at
Okay,
all.
but
And I'm
but
just
not
saying she didn't look
everybody
like she fit
in-
into a Star Wars film.
okay, but not everyone in the universe uses the same technology and has the same like decorator.
I think
They're different.
But I've never had
planets.
that issue with any other Star Wars film ever.
Well, and the Star Wars films you're used to are like Tatooine and maybe someplace else. But it's
Right.
like Tatooine and like you might get like a flash of Coruscant. Does Coruscant Tatooine look like the same like guy who's like the same building designer was in town? Like, oh man, I'm just gonna try some sloping domes in the ground today as opposed to giant skyscrapers. Like, give me a fucking break, Andy. It's a goddamn multi-tiered alien
Right.
society. I think you're like
they can do
I
it.
think you're fucking reaching pretty hard
Yeah,
right
I
now.
No,
mean-
I'm not
I mean-
reaching. I'm literally
I mean-
telling you it stood out to me.
I imagine that Endor and Tatooine were the same exact set.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think it does, and I think we just gave you a legitimate reason for why it does. But moving
Anyway.
on,
No,
we'll,
because
we'll
even
leave
on
it alone.
Endor, the rebel troopers look like they belong in Star Wars.
Because they all have the same
even
outfit on.
completely
They're
different
literally a
outfits.
fascist.
I was talking about how the worlds are pretty much the same.
Endor and Tatooine
Like
are
they're both forest worlds.
Oh my god, dude!
Did
Tatooine's
you
a
just say
desert planet.
Tatooine is
Tatooine's-
a forest
Oh,
world?
Tatooine's never mind.
That's not
Holy
Oh,
balls.
everyone makes fun of Tim.
Holy
Now go.
balls.
You sir are
Divert your
outed.
ire this way.
ire.
Andy, you're next, but still, Tim, holy shit!
I'm just impressed he used the word ire.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 3 letters, but I'm impressed. Andy. No one's used that word in like 350 years.
So we were going over our pros, and my other pro, the Wookiees. Chewbacca was great.
Yes.
Finally seeing him rip. There is some like the nostalgia that was fun to see. Him ripping an arms clean off a guy, and Han was like, that would have been an outfit I could have put on.
Right.
It would have fit
Did
me,
you guys notice the face of the other Wookiee?
It was like
You see it for like a quick instant.
Yeah,
it looked
And
very.
it's a little bit like bear in
yeah,
the middle.
bare faced.
Yeah.
Well, bear.
That's
not a bear.
the fucking kid Wookiee from the Christmas special in Chewbacca's family.
It looked
Shit
pretty.
you not. That was a Christmas special reference.
I was like, is that somebody
It's
related to
canon.
Harry and the Hendersons?
Well, I thought it was like the Planet of the Apes, like.
Yeah, it was
Flashback.
very ape-like.
But yeah, it was a bear. Like I guess he's right. The Christmas special little Wookiee.
I don't remember what the name of that what Chewie's little Wookiee pal was, but
Me either.
I'm pretty sure that was him, like enslaved on that planet.
But I did like that. I liked the interaction between Han and Chewie. I thought that was great. How they met was great. The whole scene in the pit.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good actually.
I wasn't expecting him that soon.
No,
Like,
I thought we were getting a Rancor.
right. Well, not a Rancor. I thought they had something else, but I wasn't expecting Chewie. Like,
Actually, once I saw the foot, I was like, yeah. That's
oh yeah,
true.
once I saw that. But
Well, there was something before it too.
But he said, put
Like,
him
I
in
think
with
you-
the
I think there's
beast,
a
and they
little-
threw him in the
I think
pit.
there's like a little growl like at first. I was like, oh, that's Chewie.
yeah, when they said the beast, I thought it was gonna be an actual like I don't know some
New
I was
creature.
expecting
Yeah.
Rancor too, Sweeney.
okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
I wasn't
thought
expecting
Rancor.
a Rancor, but I maybe like just like some sort of new creature.
It was the mud and the chain and like
Yeah.
kinda how it was like I was getting a very Rancor feeling, and then when you see how small the hole is, I'm like, that's
thought
it's
Rancor.
Chewy.
That's
Hey,
Chewy.
what's up, Chewbacca.
Yeah. But it's funny, like he like talked to Chewie in his own like language. I was like, we've never seen
Yeah.
that. We've never seen anybody
Like,
else try to speak.
There was
to
no explanation as to why he could understand Chewie really.
Well,
Like,
he,
in the original trilogy.
right. So there was like it was just like all of a sudden, you just assumed
It's very Rocket and Groot.
right. You very assumed like, oh, he's been with him forever, so he just gets it.
Right.
Well, it's like Chewie speaks basic and Han speaks
Wookiee.
Chewbaccan.
Yeah.
Okay,
Chewbacca. It's his language now.
Just Chewbacca.
Yeah. So it's like hey, I understand your language and you understand mine, but you obviously have dog mouth and can't speak basic. So
Right.
I'll just keep speaking English and you keep speaking Wookiee, and we'll just get along just fine.
We'll know this. So I thought that was a good interaction with those two. But what other pros can we have? Like
There was a moment of Han very early on Corellia that I was like, okay, there is a Han moment. So I think he's supposed to be like 17, like maybe late
Well,
teens, early 20s.
The opening, it's 13 years before A New Hope.
And he's supposed to be what, like,
opening. So I would ballpark early to mid 20s.
yeah. So when he's brought to that big bug thing
that
that comes
thing
up
was
out of the
weird
water,
looking.
and he was like, he pulls something out, and they're like, "What is it?" And he's like, "It's a thermal detonator," and he makes that sound. She was like, "That's a rock. You just made that noise with your mouth." And
That
I
was
like,
very Han.
Yeah,
Very
that was
Han.
very, yeah.
I thought it was a weird like.
There you go. There's
I don't
one.
know.
That whole interaction, I was just kind of like, what's going on?
I hated the look of
Yeah.
that bucket.
What is this thing? And why does she run the slaves? I don't understand.
When she can only
Proxima,
like live
Lady
underwater.
Proxima. It's like you ever read like Oliver Twist?
Yeah.
She's like a fucking she's like her like group of like street urchins who go out and pick pockets for her.
Right.
And like, come on home, and I'm your like creepy adoption lady. Like yeah, it's Oliver Twist. It's the same thing. So fucking Christ, Han Solo is Oliver Twist.
We just nailed it.
Mhm.
Figured it out.
Son of a bitch.
All right, good night.
Thank you.
I mean, I just confused Dagobah and Endor like 5 minutes ago. So
Dagobah now.
Holy shit! Like you didn't even say Dagobah the first time. We're done.
Yeah.
that's what I meant
Yeah,
for Tatooine.
Dagobah and
When I said and Endor were like the same set. That's
Yes.
the
Swamp,
that's
forest.
the joke.
Yeah, Tatooine I think was a desert.
Jesus Christ.
I
I'm
don't know my
sorry.
Star Wars lore
I
as
thought
much as you
Woody
guys.
Harrelson. I thought Woody Harrelson did a good job. I think
I thought-
he was
yeah.
that was a pro of this
I
film.
did like Woody's character.
And
but we
and
called it.
I'm gonna say like the best scene of the movie was when he just outright just shoots him.
At
Yeah.
the end.
Han
Yeah,
shot.
again.
Yeah, Han shot.
Just shot
On shot.
right in the heart.
It was Greedo in this.
No.
That was
No.
who
No, it was a
that?
Rhodian, but it
Okay.
was not Greedo.
'Cause, like, I thought they called him that. I thought they said Greedo.
I don't remember Greedo. No.
Okay,
I
I
don't
remember
remember
someone
Greedo
saying
either.
a G name about the other people there, and then I saw his face. I was like, "What the fuck?"
I don't know.
With the
It's your
people.
future in 10 years, Greedo.
I
Right.
heard,
According to
Boss
Andy,
name
Greedo
dropped.
grew up on Tatooine.
Yeah.
He was. Bosk, his name was dropped, and Aura Singh, her name was dropped.
Okay, I know Bosk. Who's Aura Singh?
Aura Singh is a bounty hunter in episode 1 during the podcast. The only time you see her, she is actually overlooking the pods as they go flying.
Did you say
by.
podcast?
Pod race during their podcast? during the pod race, she is a all like very powdered white skin. She has like the red ponytail and an antenna coming out of her head. She has really long fingers. She has like a rifle on her back.
Spear.
She
Yeah.
literally had a half a second scene in The Phantom Menace, and of course got an
Okay,
entire
I was-
backstory created.
Because I was gonna say, like, I haven't
Boba
seen
Fett
him.
effect.
So
I would
apparently, Woody Harrelson's character killed her.
Okay. Because you guys are more into the Star Wars lore than I am.
Obviously.
Hence why I
Obviously.
hence why I confuse planets.
And talk about a fucking movie that like just constantly rapid chuck Star Wars lore at you.
Right.
There wasn't like 5 seconds between like anything where you constantly are getting a reference to this or a reference to that. Fucking, you got to see the damn helmet from Return of the Jedi that Lando wears.
Yeah,
that-
it was on
Yeah.
his ship.
He wore it.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Han wore it.
No, Lando wore it in Jabba's palace.
No, I mean in
you
this
mean
movie.
in this movie?
Yeah.
right.
No, it was Woody Harrelson's character.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's right. That's right.
This
Yep.
is like if a Star Wars movie was directed by like Family Guy.
By Seth MacFarlane.
It's like a Star Wars film referencing Star Wars films.
all the time. Yeah.
The
It's
whole
like,
time.
remember that time we took out the Death Star? Hey, knock him out the box, Luke. It's like,
It's just
Yeah.
everyone
Jesus
ate,
Christ.
everyone ate member berries from South Park.
I was reading
Remember?
like non-spoiler reviews before we went into watching. Somebody was like, "Oh my gosh, there's so many good Star Wars references." And after I got out, it was like, it was all Star Wars references. It was literally just. I get it. Some fan service is great. I am a fanboy. Give me some of that. 2 hours of it, Jesus.
The fight against the Crimson Dawn guy whose name I'm
Dryden Voss.
Dryden Voss. Thank you. So the fight at the end between them and Dryden Voss, and they're like destroying his fucking office. And you guys like all of his little fucking trophies
The
throughout the
Mandalorian
room.
armor.
Yeah.
You've got Mandalorian armor. You've got a Sith holocube and lightsabers surrounding it.
Yeah.
Like in that room alone, there were like 15 references like taking place.
And his little like lightsaber dagger things.
That was a reference to fucking Last Jedi. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do here? Like, it's
Apparently, there's reference. She is a master of some martial arts that is used.
Terrace Kazi.
Yes.
Yes, that is the Star Wars martial arts. And apparently when Jedi use Terrace Kazi, it's super badass. Oh my God, we're nerds.
And that was first created in a Star Wars video game.
Yeah, it was a fucking fighting game. It was like Soul Calibur for Star Wars characters.
Just like
Masters of Terrace Kazi.
you just keep on. God, we're nerds. Hey, let me show you this.
How much more?
Right.
I used to eat, breathe, shit, sleep Star Wars. It was just wake up, watch
Passing
Star
the
Wars.
lightsaber was rough for him, trust me.
The internet was just like Star Wars. Like, you want to watch porn? No, there's Star Wars on the internet. Like,
There's Star Wars porn on the internet.
Star Wars porn, man.
Yeah, don't act like you had porn readily available all the time like you do now.
Yeah, you're older than we are. Shut up.
Yep.
nobody knows.
Oh my God. Is that a fucking Spaceballs reference? Which is
It
then
is.
we just like Kevin Bacon your
did
movie
you guys
references,
get
Andy.
the very heavy, almost Spaceballs? Like, it just screams Spaceballs to me when they decided to inject some of that fuel into the ship, and I was like, oh, they just poured a can of Schwartz into their thing.
You mean coaxium?
Liquid Schwartz.
Yes, the liquid Schwartz.
We'll just call this mineral or whatever the fuck it is. Like, what was it? Coaxial? No, coaxial.
Coaxium.
We're
Coax.
coaxial
So
cables.
it wasn't coax cable. It was
Right. It was coaxium.
But now this is the second movie where all of a sudden fuel becomes important in the Star Wars universe.
Does anyone have?
which is fine. I'm fine with that. Like, no one ever mentioned fuel before. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. That was the whole point.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of our favorite characters. I actually really enjoyed the was Mal or Hal?
Mal, I think. Val or Mal, I can't remember. It ends in AL. We're good. We're 2/3 of the way there.
I only got to see the movie once. Like, give me a break here.
Who? Woody Harrelson's love interest?
Woody Harrelson's girlfriend. She's played
Tandy.
Maeve. She plays Maeve on HBO.
Yes.
On Westworld.
Yeah,
she's fucking
Maeve.
amazing.
Yeah.
But I actually thought, like, as brief as her performance was,
That's
it was
my
one of the
problem.
better ones in the film.
That's my problem with it. I liked his crew. They were kind of fun.
Yeah.
For the whole 20 minutes they were there.
The little like
it's Val.
forearm dude.
This Val. Thank you.
And then, like, we're watching that scene, and I'm like, I know that fucking voice. I know it. It's Jon Favreau.
Yeah. Does the forearm guy. John Favreau.
John Favreau was the first pilot.
Yeah.
Takes one in the shoulder.
Like, I liked his crew, and they died. Like, I was like,
Right.
what? Why?
In the same scene.
Because if they had lived, they would have been with Han and Chewy.
So, is my assumption correct? When the Marauders show up at the end and she takes her helmet off, is that Woody and Val's child?
No. So,
Because she looked a lot like Val.
right. No, but I think that was the daughter of the original Marauder person that died.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one that assumed this.
There was a
I didn't
scene.
assume that.
I mean, there was a scene because they look at each other, and that scene is a little too long to where, like, there's some kind of familiarity that
Right.
they don't talk
I
about.
think
It's what it came across.
I think
to
it's
me.
more like he's surprised it's not
That
the
it's-
real person.
that it's a female?
Like, no, like, who is that? What were they called? They were called something, not the
It
Marauders.
was like Invis Vex or something
yeah.
like that.
And I think he was more surprised that it wasn't the real leader. Like, I think he was
No, I
expecting.
think that he was surprised that she was the leader.
Right.
Like, this girl and this squad have been kicking their asses all over the galaxy.
I have a question. Again, I don't know Star Wars lore, but, like, the Marauders are these like the hints of the beginning of the rebellion?
No, they're definitely probably an offshoot that's about to join up with it. But
Right.
the
Okay.
rebellion is started by Mon Mothma, Leia's adopted dad,
Right.
whose name I can never fucking
I was
remember.
going to say the rebellion was starting up at the end of
Something
Revenge of the
Morgana.
Sith.
Yeah, like at the very end of Revenge of the Sith, it was like
Okay.
the
It was
seeds
already,
of it were.
yeah.
Okay, and there's 20 years between 3 and 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're talking like
Okay.
at this point in time,
We're about
the
halfway,
rebellion
yeah.
is literally getting like
Is-
funds together,
Right.
yeah.
and getting like ships. They're prepping. They haven't done
Right,
anything
okay.
yet.
That's why they got the fuel and stuff to sell it off and like prep with money. And
Okay, like
ships
that's what.
and
Okay,
stuff like that.
that was my question, because again, like, I haven't watched Clone Wars, I haven't watched Rebels, and I haven't really, all I know is the 10 movies, really.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's all you need. Yeah. Okay, so since Tim brings up fucking Clone Wars and Rebels, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the big
Reveal.
reveal.
The
If you aren't a
one
9-year-old
surprise
kid, you didn't
cameo.
see this one coming.
I was okay with this cameo.
I have to vent about this cameo.
Really? I mean, I was
I'm
fine with
fucking
it.
about to lay a
No,
gigantic
like-
steamy turd on this
Like,
cameo.
I don't mind that he's there. The end of that movie is very, very like sequel baity, and I don't know if we're gonna get a sequel.
Right.
The one thing I was gonna complain about was, again, people fucking spoiling this shit.
You guys stay off the
Before-
internet.
Yeah, dude. Like, when
I
are you
know.
gonna learn to just go dark and stay off of Facebook and shit?
Do what LeBron
Like-
does in the finals. Like, go zero
The
dark
whole
30.
playoffs, yeah, just zero dark LeBron.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't care if you want to talk about, like, like spoilers in this post. Like, I don't care about that. But when you have a picture
Right.
of the character in your post, it defeats the fucking
Of
purpose
saying spoilers.
of saying spoilers.
Yes,
Like-
I agree. People need to stop doing that shit.
Yeah, like I have no problem with like after opening weekend, but when it's the Saturday of the movie coming out, like fuck the fuck off.
Right. That's don't do that shit.
But Tim, this isn't the first time this has happened to you.
Right. I mean, at least this time I fucking stayed off Reddit. This time it was on fucking Facebook.
Learn.
I know I need to learn. I'm still gonna bitch about it anyway.
You can complain that it occurred, but take responsibility, young man.
Right.
It's
Like,
on you.
It's more. This one's more annoying. But if it was like, but I was seriously about to punch someone for Last Jedi, and if it had happened for Infinity War, I would be in jail right now. No,
So-
I went zero Dark LeBron for Infinity War.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yes, as you need to for most of these movies if you don't want to get spoiled, because everyone's going to do something.
Right.
Let's stop treating him like fucking Candyman or Beetlejuice and just say it. Fucking Darth Maul is in this fucking movie. Why? Why, God? Oh, that is because in Clone Wars he survived.
He did.
Apparently.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Because at
So-
one point, doesn't he have like a spider body
Yes.
or something?
So
Yes, he has
so
spider
I can't say
legs.
that
in
with a
Clone
straight face.
Wars, I actually watched these episodes of the Clone Wars just because I don't want to say I'm a Darth Maul fan. I like the look of Darth Maul. That is as far as it goes. Like,
So you like him for superficial reasons?
exactly. Like he looks.
You fucking edgelord.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Fucking
So-
edgelord.
So
Sorry.
he does. He survives. He goes to some like junk planet. He's all cuckoo bananas crazy, and he has like a spider body.
Yes.
And then he
Cuckoo.
gets like these like almost like ATST like type legs,
Yes.
and then eventually like robo legs.
Robo legs are fine, but like spider body.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but come on.
So
Come on.
Phil and I talked, and my biggest issue with Maul still being alive in the Star Wars universe right now, mine comes back to how strong Palpatine is with the dark side. You're telling me that Palpatine has no fucking clue that Maul is not only alive but running the Crimson Dawn and is like this powerful person.
And is like a crime boss. it
Yeah, so
seems like.
I had this issue. So apparently I was filled in by fellow nerds that actually watch Rebels. I can't watch Rebels. One, I hate the look of the animation. In Rebels, Maul gets like a little, he kind of runs like this crime syndicate, and he goes after Palpatine. And Palpatine just immediately dispatches of everyone, is about to kill Maul, and says, you know what? You're no longer my apprentice, but you are a tool to me, and then uses Maul pretty much.
So maybe
he knows Maul is alive.
okay, so maybe
So he's still using him.
So it's after that point in Rebels, I would imagine.
Yes.
Question mark.
I'm assuming. So
Okay.
to make me believe
Like-
that Maul could just be like freely running around, that Palpatine
He's
is using.
That's what
controlling them.
that's what I mean by like it's sequel baity to me, is because like I would imagine it
Well-
just sets up Amelia Clarke and Darth Maul as the villains for a Solo too.
No, I think what it does is it's going to set up Maul.
Don't say that again.
It's going to set up Maul. We're going to have a Darth Maul movie.
God damn it.
Why?
God damn it.
That's what we're gonna
You
do.
don't
Why,
need
though?
a fucking Darth Maul movie.
But like that's what they're going to do with it. They're not going to do a Han Solo 2. They're going to do a Darth Maul movie.
I don't care about Darth Maul enough.
I like the reference. I liked that he was there. It was a surprise. I enjoy the character. I thought he really shouldn't have gone out the way he did in the prequels.
You keep saying this character. He had no fucking character. He is literally just
Because
a dude
didn't he-
with some black
yeah,
and red
like,
fucking
because they
tattoos
killed him too
and
fast.
horns.
Didn't he-
He had like half a fucking line of dialogue. He's got no
Right,
that's what I
fucking
was gonna say.
That's my
personality.
problem.
He's the Boba Fett of the
I want to
prequels.
see more of him and
No,
bring
there's
him
none
back.
of him.
Why not?
Why? There's nothing. There's
You don't know
nothing
that.
there.
They only
It's a
had it for like a
shell.
second. You don't. There could be more.
It's like
you don't
the
know.
fucking wizard. Like, don't look behind the curtain of Darth
I don't-
Maul.
But you don't
Yeah,
know
but, like,
that. You're just
yeah,
assuming
okay,
that.
Okay, but like my thing is that like I really don't care if he had a wife and kids before going to the dark side. Like,
Well, no, I don't need
give a
that.
shit.
They're not going to do
Leave
that.
Mrs. Maul alone.
They're not going to do a life story of Darth Maul.
So I kind of agree with Sweeney. I wouldn't mind seeing what happened after the Phantom Menace to how he is a crime. I would love to see him go
Go
after
watch Clone Wars,
Palpatine.
bro.
Yeah,
And I would love to
they
see
just did it in Clone
Palpatine go
Wars.
full
Apparently,
awesome.
they did it in Clone Wars.
But
and
they can
Rebels.
do that
So
in the film,
Rebels,
too.
in Rebels, he becomes the leader of this crime syndicate, and then he goes after Obi-Wan again, and Obi-Wan kills him again.
So okay, so then
Shocker.
So wait. So we already know how he dies. What is the fucking point of a Maul movie?
What was the point of a fucking Han Solo movie?
That's
I
not
do
my,
know how
that
Han
wasn't
Solo
my
dies.
question.
But
That's what I'm saying.
Like, yeah.
They can still do
We
it.
know
Look,
Han Solo's
look.
fate, but we just watched everything that
This
was already
is
spoon-fed
very.
to us.
Let me lay this out, please. Han Solo is one of the main three
Mhm.
of the heroes. Darth Maul and Boba Fett are completely tertiary, third level, like C-listers. Like, here's the fucking Joker and Darth Vader, and here's like Calendar
Why did
Man.
Joker come in?
Because we're talking about like tiers of
Oh.
villains. Like, you've got like Joker and Lex Luthor; those are tier ones.
I thought we were
And then you got like other like smaller levels, like for the Batman, like something like Calendar Man.
right. No, I
And
get
that's
it.
like fucking Boba Fett.
But for me personally, I would enjoy for them to explain more of Darth Maul besides just what we've already seen.
That's my point, though, Sweeney. Like, when they did present Darth Maul, they didn't do shit. It was like almost somehow it was less backstory than Grievous.
It was.
Somehow.
I agree. But I would like to actually see more of it. I would like to see him expand it instead of just giving
Because
us
of
that little moment.
I think that for me, Darth Maul is a little bit like the Joker. Let me finish my thought. Because the less I know, the better.
Same for Boba Fett.
right.
Like, Boba Fett was
Like
cool
the
because
less I know about a
he looked cool.
backstory,
He
the
had this
better.
mystery to him. Everyone kind of feared him. And then you find out he's Dad, Tom Wee's here. God
The
damn it.
Fuck was that?
The prequels.
No, I know. But
Dad,
like just
Tong
that-
Wee's
yeah.
here.
Tom Wee,
Tong Wee.
Oh,
here to
geez.
collect our debts.
Wow.
Clone Wars,
thank you for sounding like a character from South Park.
Shh. No.
Uh,
I knew exactly. Yeah, good old Daniel Logan.
yeah.
Good old Daniel Logan.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I just, you know how
Actually
I
thought-
told you my biggest complaints about Rogue One
Mhm.
were no crawl and not much of a John Williams score.
Mhm.
So this time, thankfully, there was a little bit of a John Williams score. It had like key moments
couple
throughout the
scenes.
film,
Yeah.
but more than Rogue One, at least enough that I noticed it this
Right.
time.
Exactly.
But they kind of had an opening crawl, guys. Kind of.
Right.
It was still in the same font and color.
Right.
It was like
Ish.
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Some shit was happening,
Right.
But it never
And I
like
think
crawled up the
It's
screen.
because it's a Star Wars story or whatever. I think they just don't want to do the same stuff. I'm fine with that. And
I'm
I said
cool
it
with
before.
that.
I really
I said it
I got
before.
half a crawl.
Yeah.
I really wanted someone in a theater to start doing the Star Wars theme,
Song
like, and
as
then,
it was
and then I
going.
just stand up and go, "You're not gonna get it." Fuck you.
But
You
again,
got
for
half
me-
a crawl. You got words.
Yeah, for
I
me,
told you
that I
all-
can watch a Star Wars film and not a part of the big trilogies and be fine with it.
It's not
Yeah.
an episode.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I've always been fine with it. It didn't bother me.
I'm
with Rogue
okay
One,
with it,
didn't
but it
bother me
yeah,
with Solo.
exactly.
I mean,
I'm
you give
about
us the
synergy
Lucasfilm, you give
and
us the Star
I want-
Wars.
I want seamlessness between my Star Wars films, and they should all have a crawl.
Right.
It doesn't have to say shit about the Skywalkers. It doesn't have to say shit about the main movies.
Right.
Just every Star Wars film deserves a crawl.
I mean, what would it say? Like Solo, like Han Solo is a young piece of shit.
Oh,
Yeah, sure. Hey, you ever
So
guys,
lives on a
have any of you
garbage
ever read
planet.
Oliver Twist? You can leave now.
Right.
the moment you just said Solo, it just triggered something. You know what fucking grinds my gears?
Oh god.
Oh, how
That
he
we
got
didn't
his last
talk
name?
about how he fucking got his last name.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Fuck
my god,
you.
it
That
was
ruined the whole movie.
it was almost no, it was worse than how Vader got his when Palpatine goes, "You shall now be known as Darth Vader." It was
Kind
literally,
of rhymes with like father. It's like German for father.
and then they fucked their own story in the exact same goddamn movie. He says, "I don't have a family. I run alone." He goes, "Okay, then you're Solo." And then later on, he was like, My old man used to work on these ships and everything. Oh, so your dad had no last name either?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Idiot.
Right.
He
I don't
literally
understand
talks
that
about
part.
his.
Like, why do they do that? Like, why do they have to give him his last name that way? Or unless he just didn't want to give up his last name at that particular moment because he didn't want people to know who he was.
I never wanted to equate his last name with the actual definition of the word Solo, like running by. I just thought it was like, a Star Wars sounding name, and it just happens to be Solo.
I just thought it was odd because it was like, I took it as Han did not want to give up his last name because then they might know who that person is and they wouldn't give him the access he needed. But why then establish that's how he got Solo?
Yeah,
and then uses it forever.
Right.
I don't think I care enough to be bothered by it.
Oh,
obviously I get where you're coming from because I have little small things in like certain superheroes and stuff that just pissed me off and grind my gears, but I just it
doesn't bother me. It just didn't make sense. Right. I was just like one of those moments I was like, that's how they gave him his what? Why? Like,
I was like, you just Ellis Island Han Solo?
Right.
Fuck that shit. I'm out.
Yeah.
God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. It was
You're welcome, Tim.
There was only a few times that I showed like, oh, this is cool. And that was one of those. I was like, bullshit. Fuck you.
Like it didn't need to be a fake last name. Just make it his fucking name. Like why do you have to overthink shit? I don't get it.
Let him establish it and then he uses it as an alias or whatever.
Shit.
Like it's obviously an alias because he doesn't want people to know where he came from or who he is or how to find him or get to his family or whatever. You know what I mean? To use it against him. But it's like, why would you let them establish that?
The dog's name was Indiana. I don't know.
So I was telling them I was a little surprised that with every single Star Wars reference that was literally spoon-fed to us, there was not one reference to Vader, who at this point in time is a pretty big name in the galaxy. Right. At this point, he has pretty much slaughtered all of the fucking Jedi.
Actually, Andy, I might actually argue with you on that because I've been reading the Darth Vader comic that's released by Marvel, and actually Vader, it is canon. Actually, Vader's been kept a secret from the Empire. The only people who are aware of Vader are like the highest level of like Imperial, like military echelon, like fucking Grand Moff Tarkin and like maybe a couple other like admirals know about him. Like he killed a bunch of them for like trying to have him killed because they were like, who the fuck is this guy? He's just cozying up to the Emperor and getting power. And Emperor's like, Vader is my bitch. We'll all take orders from Vader. Right. And by the way, you guys are dead.
And I'm fine with that, like because it's like there's no Force users in this film whatsoever.
Right? I was just saying I was a little surprised.
No, excuse me. There's one.
Well,
and he uses the Force
for his for the cash grab money alone. I was a little surprised that his name wasn't even dropped.
Well,
or just even a reference, not even a name, just a little reference that he was somewhere around there.
I mean, the one thing I am kind of glad about is they didn't reference Vader. And they didn't explicitly say Jabba the Hutt. Like they didn't explicitly like, say
the gangster right on Tatooine.
Right. So they didn't like shove it in your face. Like, but it's mentioned that that's where he's going to go. So you kind of like, oh yeah, he's going to go there. Now, I kind of appreciate that. They didn't like try to draw direct references from the original trilogy. They just went to the prequels.
So we were saying if they go the route that we do see how Palpatine knows that Maul is around and that he is using him, maybe Palpatine is like, no, I'm not going to kill you. My new apprentice might, and we get a Vader Maul fight.
Wait a second. They do reference that they're going to they're going to Tatooine to start a job with a gangster, right? But they never say Jabba's name.
Right.
No, but Jabba's referenced.
But in episode 1, Jabba is already like running Tatooine.
Right.
Like he's not like some low level fucking
gangster
schmuck who's putting a team together for a job. Jabba's like, I'm Al Capone of Tatooine.
Fuck, it's Boba Fett.
No, it is Jabba, but I don't think they're saying that Jabba's just now coming into power on Tatooine. When he's saying he's putting a job together, what I got from it was when Han is doing that smuggling job for Jabba and has to bail his load because of the Empire, I think that's what they were referencing to.
Right.
Was they were referencing another reference that will then later be referenced.
So Han Solo's been on the run
I
from
actually
Jabba for
understood
10
that.
years.
Our Inception reference going on here.
Reception.
Yeah. So when she put that ring in and it did pop up a hologram and it was Maul, for a second there I thought it was going to be a Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Because they did. They came right after this movie released. They have announced we are getting a
Right.
Boba Fett story.
Which will happen probably after, Solo goes and fails this
After he
job.
gets out of the Sarlacc pit.
He's
Give
not there
me
yet.
a fucking break.
He's not there yet.
Oh, the Rocketeer's getting a sequel. That's great.
Well, maybe they can make it better. Maybe they actually can give him a story besides just the fucking Rocketeer.
If the fucking movie isn't like Boba Fett and then their mini crawl is Dad, Tom Wee's here.
Dad,
Then
don't
I'm
go
walking out
losing
of
your
the theater.
Oh,
head.
jeez.
Oh.
You had to say it. Fucking Mace Windu.
That's okay. He's got like a whole. His dad had a shit ton of brothers apparently, or he's got a bunch of brothers.
Well, he had a bunch of
12 years from
Twins.
now, every single character in Star Wars is going to have their own Star Wars story. Mace Windu will be alive. He'll be walking around with
Well,
a
he could
dove.
definitely be alive.
I mean,
I
Samuel
would
Jackson
actually
already
watch
has the
Mace-
goddamn lightsaber. He kept it.
he could be
would
alive. He
act-
just fell out of a damn window. Like, it wasn't.
If
After
you
getting
write
his-
the Mace Windu solo movie as like a one monk trying to like master Force Kung Fu, and then it turns into like a 70s blaxploitation kung fu film,
Right. Why not?
I would watch the fuck out of that Star Wars
So it's
movie.
like-
I
it's
will
like-
watch that tertiary Star Wars film.
So it's like Star Wars Superfly.
I was thinking like more like Star Wars Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Show enough.
And
Shogun of
like-
Harlem.
that's the thing is like, what character is truly dead? Like, so let's think about this in the Star Wars like universe. Like, which character is truly 100% dead? Right?
Yoda,
Han,
Vader, Yoda,
Obi-Wan,
Obi-Wan,
Palpatine.
Han Solo, Palpatine.
Luke now.
Yeah,
Jango
Luke.
Fett.
Oh, too soon.
Yeah, Jango Fett, but he has replicants.
I swear to God, I completely forgot his name was Jango Fett.
Half the Senate.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Boba's dad is all you referenced him as.
Yeah, that one dude
Boba's dad.
that got cloned a bunch of times. It's Django without
So-
the D.
so Greedo's
Technically-
dead.
Technically,
Don't forget
Jango's not
Greedo.
dead because he could just use one of his replicants to.
Jabba's dead. Everybody on Jabba's barge is dead.
Well, they don't know what cares about those guys except for Jabba.
I'm just saying.
Right.
You said
That's what
he
I'm
was
saying.
dead.
Like, I meant main characters.
Fucking Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon's dead. Darth Maul should be dead,
Right,
but isn't
not.
for some stupid
Padme.
fucking reason.
Padme's dead.
She was like,
Um,
I think I could get off the table now. No, George said you had to die. So just die already.
Let's not forget Anakin's mom.
Oh, fuck that.
Shmi.
And all the fucking
Was that her
Tusken
fucking
Raiders.
Shmi Skywalker.
Yeah,
Shmi.
Shmi Skywalker.
SHMI.
Why is Star Wars a thing?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Shmi.
this is one of those situations
Like
where
Captain
like
Hook's right-hand man.
Yeah,
Shmi.
you know that's me. But anyway,
close enough.
you can't look at Star. I'm telling you, no matter how diehard of a fan any Star Wars fan is, there are problems with the series. It is not a perfect franchise.
Real quick, I just want to go back to names real quick because I
Yeah.
remembered something in the deep dark recesses of my fucking brain.
Sure.
No,
One of the band names,
Max
members-
Rebo.
No, Max Rebo.
Fuck you, Droopy McCool.
Droopy
Oh yeah,
McCool.
Droopy McCool, the
That
fucking
is a-
keyboard player,
that
the
is
big
a
blue
name.
dog.
That is a name.
Yeah.
Sny Snoodles.
There are more names than Droopy McCool in this band.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Max Rebo's the little blue elephant dude that's with the big sausage fingers.
Oh my God. It actually makes my head hurt.
It was like what? Like the 70s? Like, come on.
No, that was 1983.
Okay, sorry. 80s.
Oh yeah, that was the early '80s.
Still, it's the 80s. Like,
for the
Jabba's Palace.
I'm looking
is
forward to that movie.
1983.
I want to see the
Okay,
movie
okay.
about the band from fucking Jabba's Palace, like the band. I want to know how they like got their
How they
first
got
record
there, like-
contract.
how'd they get
like-
hired by Jabba? They had to be good.
I want Rancor Keeper, a Star
But-
Wars
but
story.
it's gotta
It would
but
be
it's
like
gotta
Old Yeller, but with a Rancor instead of a Golden
but like,
Retriever.
if they do the Jabba the Hutt band or whatever, it's got to be like taken seriously, like what I imagine with Bohemian Rhapsody when that comes out. It's got to be Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's gonna be good.
It's gonna be like Rockstar.
Right.
It's not. It's gonna be like
with
Mark Wahlberg. It's a fucked up movie.
Shit. What's that? Oh my god.
Who stars in it?
Every singer's biopic ever made.
Spinal Tap would be for the Cantina band.
Yeah. Spinal Tap.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
No,
we're
we're talking about the
band.
Max Rebo band.
Yeah.
The Cantina band
All right,
is
we're taking
a little
requests. What do you want to
higher.
hear? That same song. You
Good
got
call.
Okay, so we got Max Rebo, we got Drew McCool. What was the other one? Snide some bullshit. What was the one you
Nice
said?
Noodles.
Nice noodles.
Fucking Jesus.
What the fuck?
Well, come on. Even in the prequels,
You can't tell me
Count
George.
Dooku's Sith name is Darth Tyrannus. Like, oh my God, you're just like, oh, he does some tyrannical stuff. We'll just call him Darth.
I can't get past fucking Dooku.
Well, I mean, Dooku is already his name, I think.
I'm sorry. I thought Ron Howard was going to do a good job, like writing the ship. But to be frank with you, I kind of feel like Ron Howard came in here and
tried to polish a shit sandwich.
It's not even just that. I mean, I don't think anyone was saving that sunken ship. So I think he went from like, we can't save this film that everyone pretty much knows how it's going to go from minute one. So let's pander and throw them as much fucking Star Wars shit as we can.
Yeah.
I would be very curious to see what was his versus what was Lord and Miller's.
I wonder if there was enough to actually do a comparison. From what I understand, they did not have a lot in the can when they got shit canned.
I don't know. They were.
I don't know. I thought they were like halfway through filming.
Yeah,
but
I thought
then,
they were
that
at
doesn't
least
mean
a
they
couple
got
months in.
That doesn't mean they got halfway through filming.
Let me finish my thought.
If they want to make some money, they'll make those like they'll put those as extras on the Blu-ray.
I heard that when Ron Howard came on, a lot of it was rewritten.
Okay.
And that he essentially had to reshoot the entire movie because like Paul Bettany wasn't even Dryden Voss. It was another actor.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, man. That's how you get Oliver Twist in space, bro. Like that. What are you gonna do? Like come up with a completely new story all on your own?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if like another actor was playing Dryden Voss or they brought in Paul Bettany to be a new character. You know.
So who is Dryden Voss? Like where did he come from?
He's just a rando fucking.
He's a noob
gangster.
Yeah.
He's a space gangster.
I liked his yacht.
I bet you did. And some gun money and drug money probably bought that yacht.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a vertical sail barge.
Yeah.
Spice.
The spice. What was that? Was that Dune?
Spice must flow.
Well, we had the argument before about whether or not Han Solo was a drug smuggler and Spice is a drug. So,
Well, apparently this was a fuel smuggler. He was trying to get that fuel.
Trying to get that oil.
That what was
nuclear fuel, coaxium,
Coaxium.
coaxial cable.
Right. That's all I
The
thought.
red one goes in the red one, and the white one goes in the white
I
one.
thought
When they said that, I was like, God, really?
and when they said that, and then when they said Proxima, I was like, Proxima Midnight?
Yep. I thought exactly. I was like,
I mean,
Proxima Midnight.
see-
But they're finally merging the Star Wars and Marvel universe together.
When
At
I
least
heard
it wasn't
coaxium, I instantly went to unobtainium.
Yeah, at least it wasn't fucking unobtainium. God damn. Yeah, there's some like okay, so how he gets his last name is shitty.
That shit.
Like fucking unobtainium / coaxium as the plot mover.
Right.
Stupid. The entire like crew dying on the first job. Like man, kill him on the second job. Like let's enjoy these characters a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking Darth Maul and his shiny new legs.
I didn't mind that, but I get it. I get it.
Why did his lightsaber have like a M16 like magazine?
Why did he feel
attached to
necessary to show a display of the
Right.
Force over a hologram phone call?
Now, if I had a saber, I would probably turn it on
Right.
every minute I could.
Your
too.
fucking ringtone.
His original saber had a claw still,
Yeah.
right?
No,
I thought
No.
it did.
Have we
Didn't someone
No.
have a claw? Like the at the base, like the hilt was like a claw. Like who had that? I thought someone had that one.
I don't know. Have
you
we
might have seen
No.
something like at a convention, like a custom.
I don't think so.
saber,
I think I saw
have
it
we-
somewhere.
have
I'll
we
look
hit
it
a
up.
point where like we've got a brass knuckle lightsaber yet? Where
Well,
it's
yeah,
like,
Pretty much Dryden Voss. He had those brass knuckle
those little brass
blades
knuckle blades.
that
Right,
lit
but,
up,
like,
and
just-
I was just like, "Fuck you,
but an actual saber.
Well, they had saber blades on them.
fuck you, Vision."
Yeah.
They
You
got
can't do that.
saber whips, saber nunchucks,
Right.
saber
Which
size,
I like
saber
those
shuriken.
shuriken.
or Praetorian, Promethean.
Saber, actually, saber nunchucks would be kind of unreal.
Well,
Give
you
me a
can't do
fucking
that.
break.
You cut yourself
No,
in half.
like this is all like expanded universe shit that doesn't exist anymore. Like you're lucky you got like Claymore sabers, sir.
I like the
You should-
Praetorian weapons. Those are a pretty badass fight.
I mean, if you can't get kyber crystals to make lightsabers, those are definitely the next best thing.
Right. I
Were
think it
those kyber crystals? That's what I assumed too when they were showing every Star Wars reference inside of his little like
Oh, the-
relic
the
room. Because I
gems?
did. I saw the
His
Sith,
trophy room.
the Sith
Yeah.
holocron like little pyramid thing. It looked like
With
they were
lightsabers
kyber.
around it.
Yeah, and there was a bunch of crystals.
I think that was.
there.
I think it was just like gems and rubies. I don't think that was actual.
I mean,
They
they
might have
showed
been
white,
kyber
red,
crystals.
and
I
blue.
mean, that was like his Jedi shrine. Like, look at the Force.
They
You know,
were-
the stuff like, look at all this cool shit I have.
We do the same shit. Like
Yeah. Men like their toys. Men
Right.
like to display their collections. So that's what he did. He had like you got your Boba Fett Predator
over there.
out over there, and like so he had his Mandalorian with like
Right.
all the Mandalorian shit in the back.
Yeah,
Like it was kind of cool.
it was
like, I
cool.
mean, this is a badass office, but it was just like, I get that one, that reference, there's another reference. Oh, look at that shit. Oh wow. It's like, come on,
But you're
man.
not
It's
gonna-
some-
But to the counter argument to that is you can't have Star Wars without Star Wars references. Then they're gonna be there.
I guess some of it felt a little on the nose.
Like that stuff, I didn't mind. I didn't mind the collections. Like let's say that we got in Marvel with the collector. Like he literally collects things.
You're right. Those were kind of cool. They're in the background. They're not super
Yeah.
in your face.
Right.
Not as bad as like you're flying by yourself. Okay, Solo.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
It's not as bad as with Deadpool 2, where they make the reference and they look at the camera and go, "This is where the reference is from." They did that like 2 or 3 times in that movie.
Yeah, they did.
Juggernaut. Holy shit.
Holy shit
What
balls.
the fuck? Yeah, I was. Sorry, I missed that episode. But so apparently, Marina Baccarin stole my fucking baby names. They've been listening into my house because those are the 2 names that Kat and I are talking about.
Share?
No, at the beginning of the movie, when they're on the couch, it was Connor and May. I was like, fuck you, Deadpool.
I was like, share?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I was
Anyway,
like,
back to Solo.
Stay on target.
Stay on
Stay on
target.
target. I'm almost there.
if I could turn. I mean, what?
No.
Get in the game.
I will say, okay, you guys know how I notoriously hated Rogue One.
Yes.
Couldn't stand it. Some of this movie was all right. It's like a
Yeah.
heist film in
Yeah.
space. I was entertained.
Yes.
I was gonna say,
The
I
star-
didn't
like-
hate this movie. It wasn't great. Didn't hate it either.
My adult film fan was like, I am enjoying myself. This was worth the price of admission.
Right.
And then like my 12-year-old Star Wars geek internal voice is going, the fuck? The fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Darth fucking Maul? You got
Yeah.
magic legs, Lieutenant Maul.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. In the Clone Wars cartoon, his legs are magic.
Yeah. Force legs.
Magic. No,
Again.
not the Force. Magic.
Same thing, isn't it?
Again, I'm just laughing at Star Wars.
Hey, it'll never be as bad as Trek.
That's true. God,
Amen.
that's so much.
My favorite one's the one with
Well,
the whales.
and
All
somebody
Trek
came-
fans.
That's 4.
I was going to say, is that Voyage Home or Undiscovered Country?
That's
The fact
Voyage
that you know
Home.
the names, I don't like you anymore.
Oh, I knew
Oh.
it. Tim is a secret Trekkie.
Because I know the subtitles of movies.
Yes.
How did you weasel onto this show? We don't hawk
I've
Trek
actually
here.
never seen
Oh
those
God!
movies.
When you said Weasel, I thought of Billy Madison and fucking what's his face.
Pauly Shore?
No,
Pauly
Pauly
Shore's
Shore,
not
not
in
in
Billy
Billy
Madison?
Madison.
The Weasel
But
reference.
Pauly Shore is the weasel.
So that's
Big-
that's
okay.
Weasel the Jitters. That's a completely
Is-
different
is-
reference.
Is the
Weasel
weasel
the
is the
Jizz.
weasel the name of the principal?
No,
of
he calls him a
what's her
Weasel.
name?
The guy with the red hair, guy he's battling with in the whole competition.
I don't.
that guy.
that
Oh.
guy.
Oh, from West Wing.
Yes. What the fuck is his name? Google
Doesn't
this
matter.
shit.
Nudie
Bradley
Magazine Day.
Bradley Whitford. Thank
Nudie
you.
Magazine Day.
Yes.
You're going
Yeah.
back to the zoo, penguin.
It's too hot out for a penguin.
I'm shampoo. I clean the hair.
I'm
I am
conditioner.
conditioner. I make the hair silky and smooth.
I'm not-
really fool.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like at work, when I like open the door for people and they come in, I just like proceed. I do that like
Stop
every
looking
day.
at me, swine.
Yeah.
All right, Star Wars. Solo.
No.
Fuck this. I wanna see Billy Madison in space.
We've changed subjects to good Adam Sandler movies. There are only two.
At this point in time, I want a Billy Madison prequel more than I want a Boba Fett film.
Happy Gil-
God.
Can I get
There,
a
I brought
happy-
it back to Star Wars for you, Andy. You happy? I don't want any more of these.
Well, we're gonna get a Boba Fett film. It's
I
gonna
don't
happen.
fucking care. I don't want. I don't want a Darth Maul backstory film either.
I would prefer Darth Maul over Boba Fett.
Well,
I
if we're
mean-
getting an Obi-Wan standalone movie, that's where you could work in your Maul, because then Obi-Wan gets to kill him.
Again.
I'd actually be okay with that.
Yeah.
Be
Since
like, what the shit are you doing here? Didn't I kill you?
I have to come to terms with the fact that Maul is still alive in canon. I have to accept that that is true. Fine. But I don't want him getting his own fucking like Darth Maul movie, a Star Wars story. You do Obi-Wan, cool.
Bring
and have
Maul.
Maul show up
Yeah.
and they finish the fucking job. All right. I'll watch that.
I want to see a Maul Vader fight though.
I think Vader would crush
Oh
Maul.
yeah, obviously.
So you can't do it because Maul has to.
Yeah, you have to keep
Palpatine
milking
could
that
stop
payment.
Vader
He could
from
stop it.
killing him.
He could
Like,
stop
hey,
the
hey,
fight.
hey, let's use this little bitch.
Children, please.
Right.
Get
You
along.
Palpatine could be like, stop.
God damn it! Like I kind of knew it was coming, but when I fucking saw it and I had to believe it, I was just
See, I didn't see it coming at all.
I did not see Vader.
I
did
went
not
in
see
dark
Maul.
on this. After like the second trailer, I
Yeah.
was done.
I didn't know Maul was coming. And I knew the betrayal was going to happen of Woody Harrelson's character.
we said it was in our
Yeah,
show.
Absolutely. But I didn't see the betrayal of Amelia Clark's character.
And remember, we said that when this movie ended, we should not like Han Solo.
We
There
still
was
like him.
nothing that
Yeah.
I disliked about him. I was like, okay. She was like, hey, you should join our rebellion. And he was like, no. And she was like, well, you should change your mind and help out a rebellion at some point. Reference. God,
But he still was
I-
true to himself, like cared about himself, cared about money, cared about what he can do for himself. Like that was still true to the character.
Let's go down the list of the shit that we called that was guaranteed in this film. We saw the Kessel Run. We knew that was happening.
Ding ding.
We got the explanation for under 12 parsecs, and they were able to retcon their own dialogue by explaining that it was like how you navigate out of the maw.
Yeah.
So good for them. We also knew that we were going to figure out how we gets the Millennium Falcon from Lando. We're going to
We
see
knew
the
that.
actual card
Yep.
game.
I
Saw
did like that he lost the first bet.
Because he was cheating.
Yeah, Lando cheated.
Lando's cheated.
But then Han caught it, and then at the end, takes the card out of his sleeve, and he
You
was like,
needed this.
You would have had a full sabacc with this.
but he did. He won it from Lando in a bet.
Yep.
He saved
Oh.
Chewy.
Yep.
We knew that we weren't going to get much about like Han Solo as a child. It was going to be like grown up Han Solo
Yeah.
or like grown up enough Han Solo.
And we knew that Woody Harrelson's character would betray him in the end, which causes this whole trust issues
And die.
Yep.
and die.
And that he was going to be
we knew
mentor.
that every single person other than Chewie was going to die.
Right.
Right.
And that
Or
Woody
leave
Harrelson
them.
character, like Tim said, was going to be his mentor, like show him the ways of the smuggler.
Oh,
I hated the L3 droid. I hated that Lando's reaction when it died and was shot. Nobody at any point has ever like really. I think Luke is the only one that's ever showed any kind of attachment to a droid more than just property.
See, I didn't mind. I didn't mind that.
I thought it was interesting that she became the
Part
the Falcon's
of the Falcon and then never
navigational.
mentioned again.
Well, yeah, because now she's in the system and you can't talk to her anymore.
she is the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
L3
Yeah.
became the Millennium Falcon's
Right.
navigation system. Good for
Right.
her.
Right.
But I'm sorry, and this is not a popular opinion, but it's one I'll adhere to till I'm dead. Sentient machines aren't alive.
They're not.
Sorry. Look
No.
at Skynet. You don't want a sentient machine.
Right. And
You
I-
don't-
I-
Look at Westworld.
right.
So
Right.
yeah, so L3's running around going like droid rights. We
I
have
thought that was
our-" I like,
hysterical, though. I liked that
turn
part
it
of
off.
the movie.
Who
I thought-
did her voice?
It was the girl. It wasn't. It sounded
The girl.
like Phasma.
Oh, yeah, the girl.
It sounded
No,
like
it wasn't.
Phasma, but it's not. It's not.
It wasn't Gwendolyn
Christie.
Christie.
No.
I actually at first I was like, is that Kate Blanchett?
I thought it
No.
was Phasma.
But it wasn't. Hold on. I just had this up.
You said her name, but I still call her Phasma.
Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah,
There you go.
tall.
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tall one.
The tall one.
Yeah, Gwendolyn Christie.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Who?
What the hell is a
Yeah.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
Oh, her.
That sounds like a Pokemon.
yeah.
Go, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Phoebe.
I choose you, L3.
According-
L3's full name wasn't it like L3
L337.
According to IMDb, she has her own show that she writes and directs called Fleabag on Amazon Prime.
Never heard of it.
And that is what she's mainly known for.
Cool.
I
All right,
thought
so-
she did a good job acting
Yeah.
the part. I just don't agree with sentient machinery because it
No.
always leads to human apocalypse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want that. But I thought the whole droid, like she like started this whole droid rebellion. I thought was funny. Like I was like, that's kind of fun.
It felt
They
like
got
they were
too
trying
real.
to like one of the good characters from Rogue One was
K2SO.
Oh, yeah,
So they were
absolutely.
trying to capture that again, and I was just not.
Well, and see, I didn't think they're trying to capture that again because I think the lovable character that can't speak was Chewbacca. Like that was a lovable character that can't speak.
Speak. He speaks
K2SO
Wookiee.
spoke a lot.
I know, but like, okay, I'm just saying, like, I don't know, never mind.
He's the R2D2 of the movie. I get it. He's
Yeah.
the beep bloop bloop. Oh, shut up, R2.
Right,
Good Lord,
like that,
don't
like
use
it was
that
that
language.
kind of person, and she was kind of like just a throwaway, like fun character.
What,
Uh,
Kira?
I think also this is the first Star Wars movie without C-3PO in it.
No
It is.
C-3PO
I
or
did
R2.
see a droid.
There was a 3PO droid.
yes,
I
Yeah.
did see that.
Anthony
But-
Daniels did have a voice line. It was when all the droids were breaking out. One of the droids said something
Warwick
about
Davis was in the
breaking out.
movie.
Yeah, it was Anthony Daniels.
Warwick Davis was in this film.
He
Yes.
was. He
Yeah.
was one of the
Willow.
Marauders.
Yeah, also Wicket.
Yeah, also
yeah.
Wicked.
I just like Willow a lot.
But I mean, I'm not. You're not wrong, but Wicket.
Yeah.
But so like once again, another star. And this isn't the first time Warwick Davis has had like a side cameo in a Star Wars film that wasn't in an Ewok suit. Like I'm pretty sure he was in like one of the prequel movies also.
Probably.
But yeah, this movie was literally like, if you're a fan of Star Wars, there's something for you every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You attention span not having like dork, like, oh my God. Like they almost kind of like realized there's not really a lot of Han Solo to go around for a 2-hour film.
Right.
Let's
They
just
kinda
throw
realized
fucking
that-
references at him.
They figured it out. Like, okay, guys, we can't just focus on him because his character is really linear.
I mean, we were right. I mean, he's not going to be any different from what he turned out, but we're kind of right how pissed we were going to be if they gave Han Solo a heart of gold right off the bat.
Right.
Like he still shoots like Woody Harrelson, like dead
That
mass,
was
like right in the
perfect.
center.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Like he's
But,
trying
like,
to
he's-
talk to him and no, you're
But
done.
Woody Harrelson was going to betray him and kill him.
Right.
So Han's still technically in the right.
And he even
And
said
he
that
knew
Woody,
he was going to go for his gun.
Woody was like, "Oh, Woody, what's his name? What was his name?
Beckett.
Beckett. Beckett was like,
Tobias
He's like,
Beckett.
good job. I was going to shoot you."
So
I
yeah,
did
he's like,
like
you did a
when,
good, yeah.
When he had his Hanism, when he stepped in front of the Marauders and he was about to pull his gun out, and he was like, and Beckett's like, whoa, 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 and he was like, okay, hey, you guys are surrounded. My ship right there has 30 people on there, and at my call, they're all going to come off, and you're going to be surrounded. And Lando's like, fuck this, and just flies right away in some
And then
ship that shouldn't have been able
In
to
true
fly at
Lando
all.
fashion, he betrays him.
But I also felt that was like a good Han Solo scene, because remember in the Death Star when he's like chasing down the hallway after the
he's
stormtroopers
like, "Ah!"
by himself, like ah,
Yeah.
and then they turn around, he's like, round, go,
Yeah.
go. Like Han Solo has that like slapsticky
Oh yeah.
humor every once in a while.
Like,
He's
he
not
acts
unknown
before
for
thinking sometimes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what he was doing there. So there was some Hanisms.
I thought the kid handled it well, Andy. I know one of our arguments was that you didn't think he sounded or looked enough like Harrison Ford, but I thought he was actually one of the least disappointing things about the film.
He was. I'll agree with that too.
I didn't think it was as bad as
It wasn't
we
as bad.
thought it was going to be.
No, it was not as bad.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
Right.
how
didn't hate it.
Lando was nailed, I was hoping Han would have been the same way, and it wasn't. But
But
at the
that's
same
a
time, it
testament to
wasn't as
like.
bad.
But Billy D. Williams and Lando Calrissian is an incredibly like awesome character. It's one that like, you know, you can do an impression of. It has like very special mannerisms. Harrison Ford being Han Solo
Right.
isn't easy act. There's no like milestones to like do an impression of that.
Harrison Ford was like the same character and everything, but it just like
Yeah.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he's like John Malkovich, man. Like Harrison Ford just shows up to work and just Harrison Ford.
I get
Right.
that. There was just because there was some points where Donald Glover didn't always sound like Lando.
Oh, you mean because he's not actually Billy D. Williams?
But there was points where he did. Like it came through, and I was like, "Oh shit!" There was never a point where I was like, "Hey, he is pretty close." Like,
You're mad
he
about
was-
his inconsistencies at literally living in another person's life.
It was never even remotely close.
There
Like
was some-
he had some of the mannerisms down. That was it. That's
But,
all.
like
think
Harrison
he-
Ford doesn't have a unique voice like Billy D. Williams.
Everyone has a unique voice, and I've heard a shit ton of great impersonators out there.
You're
but
not going to like this, Andy, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to get this off my chest. You know how people say like the reason Keanu Reeves works on film is because he's like an everyman. There's like nothing there, and you can like project yourself into whatever like film fantasy you're watching, like The Matrix. I could be the one because Keanu has no personality, and I could just be that guy. Same thing for Harrison Ford, but like a couple decades earlier, he just kind of shows up like fucking Blade Runner. I love Blade Runner, man, but Harrison Ford just being Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford in a movie. There's like no different.
But that's kind of what works. I mean, he's Harrison Ford for a reason. So why fucking break the formula, right? But
I don't think there's an impersonation of Han that you could
get
do.
off my Falcon.
Yeah. See, same fucking dude. So
Was that Clint Eastwood?
It's what I'm saying is that like I'm not saying Donald Glover had an easier job. Just Lando was a very animated character,
Right.
so it's a little when you have such animated mannerisms and a character like that. As an actor, it's going to be a little bit like you know what direction you're going in. Ha ha ha! Oh fuck you, old buddy! And I had to betray you. Bam, Lando. I'm done. Nailed it. I could be Lando.
Lando.
But like Harrison Ford's like you got to go spend a whole day with Harrison Ford. I'm not sure if you noticed, but he's kind of weird now.
No, he's the living embodiment of old man. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Grumpy grandpa.
Like
Harrison
even
Ford.
more so than Clint Eastwood.
Like in
sometimes to me.
Blade Runner 2049, it was literally old man Harrison Ford didn't give a shit.
Right.
and all he did, the only thing he did like Deckard was drink, and guess how hard that is to
like
do.
Star Wars fandom confuses him.
Yeah, he hates his fans, man. So have you guys seen the photos of Harrison Ford showing up on set and pulling like the young Han Solo to the side and like having like a talk with him? Does
No.
anyone know what was said between them?
No.
No idea.
Andy, have you heard anything?
They say don't fuck this up. Like
I want to know what Harrison Ford said to
no,
that kid.
I
I
don't
have
know.
no idea.
Because in my head canon, I imagine he just puts his arm over him and was like, just so you know, I'm much happier that they're going to be paying attention to you now. These people are fucking savages.
Yeah.
That or he's like, I had no tips for you. I was just me the entire time.
Yeah.
Just do you, bro. And nobody gives a shit. They're Star Wars fans. You can shit on a fucking plate and they'd give you. Did you see Jar Jar Binks? Did you see it?
River Phoenix played a young me. You're no River Phoenix.
Or I'll always be Han Solo. Fuck you.
Right,
I mean,
like-
I want to know what they said to each other. Was he being cool or did he like,
Well,
act like
Han
a
Solo's
cock?
always been kind of like that, like quirky, funny guy when it comes to Star Wars stuff. Like people asking questions like, hey, did you get sentimental? No, I got paid.
Right. Yeah.
Seriously, he's like, he doesn't give two fucks about being like, there's like a billion sweaty nerds out there who are like, fucking Han Solo is my hero.
Yeah, like
Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
yeah. I mean, he only did episode 7 to do another Indiana Jones movie. So
It was an agreement. The only reason he showed up was so he could get his fifth Indiana Jones film. Didn't learn anything from this is a man who didn't learn anything from Kingdom of Crystal Skull, guys.
That was so
same.
they kind of learned. George Lucas doesn't have anything to do with this one.
Oh,
I'm
good.
just saying, let's take him down off his fucking pedestal for a little bit.
It was Lucas that wanted to do
Aliens.
fucking aliens.
Fucking aliens.
So yeah, in conclusion, Andy, I think that the kid had a harder job than I mean, because Lando's Lando and Harrison Ford is like, be Harrison Ford. Go do it now.
Overall, I mean, I think there were bits of this movie that we liked and bits that we obviously did not like.
I mean, like, so for me personally, like I said before, I got bored in the movie because I wanted more of the action. All this shit in between, I didn't care about. It had no attachment to it. So it was kind of like one of those movies I was like, okay, can we get back to the actual doing stuff now instead of this story in between? Because I was like, if this is a heist movie, I don't want story. I want the heist.
Right.
I don't want
the
that
heist
shit.
was cool.
Yeah, the
train scene was cool.
Yeah. All the action sequences were amazing. All the shit in between they try to explain story, don't care.
Right. So
there wasn't any story. Right. Sorry. Yeah. You know what? But like I think we were talking about this earlier. Sweeney, let's talk to Cody. Let's talk to Cody over at Rogue Squadron Podcast. I want to talk to him and pick his brain on this film.
He would love to. He wanted to be here tonight, but like we'll have to sit down with him. We'll get this whole. We'll get him and we'll get Paul, who's his compadre on that podcast, and we'll have like a full blown talk.
Oh my God! Like, yeah, I want them. I basically want this to be like them, like To Kill a Mockingbird, like defending.
Yeah,
defend this movie. Go for it. How do you explain this? Like Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Like apparently this movie is a rapist. Defend it.
Like I'm just saying, like we're gonna have like the apologist Star Wars fan versus the skeptical, like nothing's good enough Star Wars fan.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I know. I've seen that movie and read the book.
Well, I'm just
jerk
reminding you.
You messed up planets.
Who Radley?
Well, on the rapist. Let's
I thought we had a new bit. I thought we had a new bit tonight.
Oh yeah, we do have a new bit we're going to do tonight.
Now we're going to do every show where I believe one of us will bring up 3 things that we will then tell you that we are either hateful of or grateful for.
Yeah. So what's this new segment called?
I don't know. We need to come up with a name for it.
I think we already did.
Hateful. I thought it was hateful.
Grateful. All right.
Hateful or grateful.
This week for the inaugural Hateful Grateful, the very first Hateful Grateful, Tim is going to be taking the reins. And Tim, so what's happening in Nerdland these days?
You took one of the things I was going to talk about.
We
discussed it earlier with Boba Fett because I was going to ask you guys because James Mangold is doing Boba Fett, and James Mangold is the director of Logan. Apparently, he is going to be doing the Boba Fett movie.
Hateful. Sorry. Wolverine's awesome. Good job. And Logan was great, but you're using Boba Fett. You're fucked. It's the Rocketeer. You're screwed. It's not going to be a good film. Hateful.
Grateful.
You gonna explain?
It's fucking Boba Fett. I love Boba Fett.
that actual answer actually supports my reasoning too for Hateful.
So
you've never supported why Boba Fett is a bad character other than
he's just
like
not
he
a
didn't have a lot of
character. He's
dialogue.
boring. There's nothing to him.
Right. So
that you know of, which it makes the reason why
Hateful or Grateful is we do not spin off.
No, we're arguing.
Yeah, we're
so grateful.
Grateful. I am too grateful because I do want the expanded story of Boba Fett. I want it to be out there.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's a great director.
He's a great director.
I'm okay with it because like I'm not really that much into Star Wars like you guys are. Boba Fett's all right, but I want to see what James Mangold
absolutely
brings to it.
Great director. Let's see what happens.
If anyone can, it could be him. But I'm sorry. I think you're going to be highly disappointed by this film. Dad Tong Wee's here.
The next thing, because we haven't really talked about it, discussed it as a group, but yesterday it was announced that Jamie Foxx is playing Spawn in the new Hard R Spawn movie that is coming out.
Oh, I did not hear the Hard R part.
Hard
R by is it Blumhouse?
Something like that. And I think it's written by Todd McFarlane too.
Neil Blomkamp?
What's that?
No. Like Blumhouse Studios.
That studios that does a lot of the newer horror films.
And it will be written by Todd McFarlane.
Right.
And directed.
Oh, he's directing it too?
He is directing, which
perfect.
That is why Jamie Foxx. Okay.
Hateful or grateful, Phil?
I feel violated. I don't even know right now. It's a 90s property. You're trying to take a 90s property and make it relevant today. You're fucked. It's not going to work. But I'm grateful for the casting of Jamie Foxx. But this movie is going to flop.
I am grateful for Jamie Foxx. I am hateful for Todd McFarlane as a director. He's never directed before, and you're now going to say, go direct a movie.
Right.
I don't care if it has a hard R. I'm with Andy on this one. We're in agreement.
I'm
Fuck Boba Fett,
hateful
though.
overall because Spawn, the original movie, was one of my favorite movies. And don't do it again. Don't touch that shit. Leave it alone.
Wait a second. Are you saying that it can't be improved upon?
No, fuck that shit. Fuck it all. I love that movie. Don't touch it again. Leave it alone. It's my childhood. Let it be.
I'm sorry for your fucking childhood. I almost want to call child services for you if that was your childhood. That movie's Sweeney, the first Spawn is not a good film.
Hey, you leave it alone. Don't touch it.
CG cape.
Don't touch it.
Really bad CG cape. John Leguizamo violator.
I loved it.
Next.
And in what was probably going to be the death knell for the show, Andrew Lincoln is leaving The Walking Dead at the end of next season.
Finally, Walking Dead can die.
The report from Variety is saying that they are in talks with Daryl Dixon. I can't think of the actor's name. The actor that plays Daryl Dixon for a $20 million deal to make
Norman
him
Reedus.
Norman Reedus. Thank you.
There's a picture right there.
Doesn't have his name.
That's how Andy figured it out. He looked at the fucking poster on the wall.
No, his name's
they are in a talk with talks with Norman Reedus for a $20 million deal to be the new face of the show.
Phil?
I've been hateful on fucking Walking Dead since Terminus. The show hasn't been good for so fucking long. The comic hasn't been good for so long.
You're grateful then that this is happening.
That it might be the death knell
I guess
of the
you're
show.
right. No, I'm hateful because I don't want anyone to pick up the reins. Let it die.
Okay.
Yeah, so
End it.
grateful that Andrew Lincoln is getting away from it so it could die. Hateful if Norman Reedus picks it up and keeps going with the same fucking regurgitated storylines over and over again.
I'm so done with Walking Dead. I don't even care how the plague came out. I mean,
It is a zombie in itself now.
Is there an option for I don't give a fuck about this show anymore?
Yeah, it's hateful.
Yeah,
Hateful.
yeah. I kind of wish it would go away as well. I will say I watch Fear the Walking Dead, and Fear the Walking Dead is better than The Walking Dead ever was.
I just don't care anymore. I just stopped caring a long time ago.
I stopped caring when they introduced Negan and didn't say who died for 6 fucking months.
Right.
I mean, did you read the comics? It's issue 100.
No. Right. Yeah. No, I did. I was right. I think it was just them dragging along is what turned me off, because it was the end of a season. They dragged it for 6 months. And then also you didn't find out who actually died until like 2/3 of the way through the actual episode. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, fucking hateful. Get rid of that show. I'm done with it.
Done. All right.
Sweet. Fuck Hateful. Walking Dead. Fuck the Hateful Dead. Sounds like a really good
Those guys
hippie
are
band,
dicks.
though. A really angry hippie band, the Hateful Dead. Oh, yeah. But Solo, fucking... I'm sorry, man. Like, I really... You know what sucks about being a Star Wars fan right now? You're getting more Star Wars, but it's kind of like... somewhere in between like episode 1 or episode 3 over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really getting anything that's like topping Empire or Jedi or
so
it's really good, just not quite good enough. Like
very middle of the road.
Yeah, it's feeling very mediocre. And I know you're excited about a Boba Fett and a Darth Maul and an Obi-Wan, and I just kind of feel like they really need to like maybe you should get your primary story in order before you start pumping out a bunch of tertiary bullshit. Because I'll tell you right now, when you get your IG-88 or your Bosk films or whatever, Bib Fortuna, when you get your Bib Fortuna movie, you're going to fucking like, you're going to remember this conversation and you're going to be like, fuck, Phil was right. You're never going to say that.
No.
Ever. Guys, have you guys ever heard of this show called Game of Thrones?
No.
What's that?
Is it a board game?
Actually, it is. It's an
a card game of some sort? Is it like Clue?
No.
I'd play Game of Thrones Clue. No, fuck that. I would. That sounds fun.
Well.
All right. Well, thanks again for tuning in for the Hateful Geeks. Once again, follow us on all of our social media, which again includes Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, iHeartRadio.
Throw a rock at something, we're on it.
The
We're on it,
interwebs.
and we just added to a new one, which have just brought out a brand new beta for their podcast section, which is Plex. Plex, usually you can stream movies and shows. Now they brought a whole new podcast beta, and we are on it.
Woo!
So download Plex. Come find us.
Huzzah!
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Phil.
This is Sweeney.
I'm Andy.
And this is Tim.
And fuck Solo.
May the force be with you.
No,
like
the Force
pizza.
hasn't been with us for quite some time.
I like pizza, so your last name is Pizza.
Oh, God. Andy just made the movie better somehow. I'd watch
Han
that
Pizza.
film. Han Pizza.
Pizza the Hut.
That's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
I was about to say pizza.
You got that
Pizza's
reference from-
going out for you.